Hello, everyone. Jonathan and Molly here, and welcome back to Savoring the Magic, where we believe there is magic in the details.
So today we are in Hollywood Studios, which has changed a lot since its debut in 1989. So we're going to look at its development and its transformation into the park that we know and love today. So come along with us on this excursion.
So let's start with some of the reasons why a third gate was needed here at the Walt Disney World Resort. In the 1980s, there was a lot of changes happening with the company, and one of the biggest changes was the decision to bring Michael Eisner and Frank Wells aboard in 1984. Walt Disney Productions was struggling at the time, and they intended to grow the business through expansion and modernization of the live-action film business, in addition to some other ideas. The possibility of an entertainment industry-based area was talked about almost immediately after they and Jeffrey Katzenberg joined the company.
Initially, Eisner had pointed out that Epcot's Future World featured a lot of different pavilions, but not one for the entertainment industry. So he tasked Imagineers with pitching an entertainment industry pavilion. The idea the Imagineers pitched involved a three-part experience highlighting film, television, and radio. They planned for a ride through great moments from the movies, a TV studio soundstage, and a radio portion that talked about the importance of sound in storytelling. However, these plans quickly outgrew the planned site in Future World.
These initial ideas grew into a third gate that would bring guests onto sets and a chance to showcase the way a studio operated. Eisner wasted no time in announcing the combination of a theme park and working studio. Of course, this timing may have also been influenced by another certain theme park competitor building their own Orlando park and studio tour. Nevertheless, in February of 1985, 4 months into his tenure, Eisner told Disney stockholders that they were planning on building a third park in Florida.
The part that stockholders didn't necessarily know, though, was that Eisner was concerned about the intellectual property for the park. He wasn't convinced that they had enough significant IP since Walt's death to sustain a whole new park and the stories that it would contain. So he came up with a different option. His solution was to make a deal with MGM. Disney would license their studio name and well-known intellectual properties that include a vast Hollywood library with classics like The Wizard of Oz and Singin' in the Rain. Thus, MGM Studios was born.
Also, it should be noted that there was something poetic about Disney partnering with MGM. Some of the original Imagineers, like Herb Ryman, had previously worked with MGM, and Disney would end up hiring a lot of great set designers from 1930s Hollywood throughout the years for Disney's development and plussing process. Anyway, we digress. The point is that the new park was envisioned so that it would be part working backlot and sound stages, which worked perfectly with their goal to make new films.
It also brought some new life into Imagineering, even if it did have its challenges. They had more ideas than they did money, and the ideas kept pouring in, and the budget did not expand. They initially planned for Disney MGM to be a half-day park, thinking that would be a great stop for visitors who were either flying in and wanted something to do, or something before flying out.
Instead of a main street, it would have Hollywood Boulevard. It would be the home for shops and serve as the place that ushers you in and sets the stage. It was built using architectural styles from the 1930s, a high point for Hollywood as everyone looked to escape the realities of the Great Depression.
Down at the end of that boulevard wouldn't be a castle or a geodesic sphere. Instead, it would be the perfect icon for a park about filmmaking. The centerpiece of this park would be a replica of the Grauman Chinese Theater, Hollywood's best-known movie palace. And behind its facade would be the park's most elaborate and star-studded attraction, the Great Movie Ride.
This ride had grown quite a lot from its initial conception at Epcot. It combined a lot of the Imagineers' many skills into an exciting adventure that lasted for more than 20 minutes. It contained audio animatronics, film projection, animation, detailed sets, and even theater arts. Cast members would literally act out portions of the narrative.
The movie scenes reproduced for the ride went beyond Disney and MGM properties. Yes, there was Disney's Mary Poppins and MGM's The Wizard of Oz, but there was also Warner Brothers' Casablanca, 20th Century Fox's Alien, and Paramount's Raiders of the Lost Ark. In fact, the only movie studio that was not represented in the ride was the one that was building the competition over on International Drive.
The second attraction that would anchor the park was the Backstage studio tour, which took guests through a working production facility. They would see things like staffers working on costumes and elaborate outdoor movie sets, dubbed Residential Street and New York Street. This whole tram tour was capped off with an experience called Catastrophe Canyon. This involved the tram stopping at the canyon and experiencing an earthquake. A tanker truck would explode and water would come rushing in from further up the canyon.
Following the tram tour would be a walking tour through multiple sound stages. There was a special effects demonstration recreating a storm around a patrol boat and a water tank. and it would eventually go through a post-production facility and a theater screening preview of upcoming movies. The whole experience could take more than an hour plus the walking time.
Eisner wanted a fully fledged Disney Studio East, but they were unable to lure producers of big movies to the not yet built facility. This meant that guests wouldn't necessarily be able to see full-scale live-action productions in progress, so Eisner concocted a plan B.
He decided that they would have a series of short films from Hollywood stars explaining different parts in the Hollywood filmmaking process. The end result was about 10 short films to be shown at various points along the walking portion of the tour. Each film highlighted a different craft in the filmmaking process, from acting and directing to matte paintings and special effects. The decision would even have unintentional benefits for Imagineering. Moving forward, they would now have an in-house core media team to produce small films for attractions.
Even if they didn't have real stars in person on the Backstage tour, the park would also have the Magic of Disney Animation tour. Eisner was determined to make a working animation studio a part of the park since he thought it best represented the company's history. So here guests would be able to look over the shoulders of an actual Disney animation team at work, from story artists and animators to cleanup specialists and ink and painters.
The Florida animation team worked mostly on shorts in the beginning. Their first effort was a Roger Rabbit-inspired short called Roller Coaster Rabbit, which premiered in front of Dick Tracy in June of 1990. Over time, though, the animation facility would produce full-length feature films. Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, and Brother Bear were all almost completely animated and produced here in Florida. While the Great Movie Ride and the Backstage Studio Tour were the main draws of the park, there were some smaller, compact attractions included on opening day. They had the Monster Sound Show, which would pick members in the audience to add sound effects to a movie that was in production. Superstar Television also utilized audience involvement as it showcased a typically hectic broadcast day at a TV station. There were areas in the park like Echo Lake and Crossroads of the World that were inspired by real places in Los Angeles. There were shops lining Hollywood Boulevard, live shows at the Theater of the Stars, and restaurants ranging from the casual and affordable Men and Bill's Dockside Diner to the upscale reproduction of the famous Hollywood eatery, the Hollywood Brown Derby.
The park debuted on May 1st, 1989, with Eisner referring to it as a Hollywood that never was and always will be. Opening day was populated with stars like Bette Midler, Robin Williams, George Lucas, and 3,000 members of the media from around the world. Within the first several hours of the park being open, they literally had to start turning people away.
Newsweek put the park on its cover, and as with Epcot Center, NBC TV aired a primetime special about the park. Within a month, the park's success had helped push Disney's stock up more than 20%. After 3 months, they announced that they intended to double the size of the park in the coming years.
A half-day park didn't occur to most Disney guests, so it ended up having the same volume of guests as any of the other parks. So it was always inundated. The lines were long, and the Imagineers couldn't expand the park fast enough.
The Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Show Spectacular would open a few months after the park's debut on August 25th, and Star Tours would soon follow on December 15th, 1989.
So we have way more to talk about concerning the park, but first, let's go enjoy the Indiana Jones Stunt Show. None of the opening day attractions are still around at Hollywood Studios, but this one was only a couple months behind. And we're off to see our favorite archaeologist.
That's right. Technically not an opening day attraction, but an opening year attraction. It opened just a couple of months after, so.
About as good as you're going to get these days, actually.
Yeah, actually it is the best you can get these days. Outside of eating at some original places, that's pretty much it.
Now, the second unit is responsible for all of the action and stunt sequences you see in films such as Raiders of the Lost Ark. And today, we're going to show you how stunts on a second unit are created. Now, you might have noticed we're having a little bit of mechanical difficulty today, but do not worry. We are able to continue with our shoot. We are not going to have the first Mayan temple scene, but we are going to go ahead and get right into the action of our Cairo marketplace. There's a lot of action and adventure. I think you're really going to like it. But I want to make sure everyone gets their cameras out and ready, because you never know who might just drop in. Everybody give it up for one of our Harrison Ford stunt doubles, Chris! Chris is one of our many excellent stunt performers. We also have an amazing stunt team. Give it up for them as well. Now, playing the role of Karen Allen, playing the role of Marion Ravenwood, give it up for one of the best in the business. It's Haley! Hello, everyone! Thank you so much! Thank you for being here! Hey. Oh, now there is one one more person I'd like to introduce you to. Hey, boss.
Yeah,
You got just a second.
absolutely. I'll be right there. All right, hit your mark. Stay safe.
All right, everyone. This is our stunt coordinator and director of the second unit, my boss, Mindy.
Hello, everybody. Oh, thank you so much. Very nice of you to be here. You're going to absolutely love some of the action sequences we have to share with you. So get ready for some fun. Let's talk about our camera setup.
All right, so we have camera A up there in the tower and camera B on the dolly. Now, camera A, we're going to go ahead and shoot 36 frames per second instead of 24. I know you like that slow motion feel for the high fall
Yes.
and the whip sequence.
Yes.
And camera B, we're just going to keep focused on the action just the
Yeah.
whole time. Is there anything you want for that final?
Yeah, kidnap sequence. Let's actually tighten that up. Make that a 3/4 shot.
Got it.
Wow. Yes, Chris. How do you feel about the changes I made to the whip sequence?
I love them.
So do I. Let's go ahead and put them in.
Got it, boss.
Beautiful. Okay, Haley, gather up. We're going to talk about the top of this scene. All right, now remember, the two of you, you're going to enter from behind the clothes rack. You're going to make your way into the marketplace. Everything's very casual at first. I really want to see that action unfold. All right, the rest of the team's going to wait and make their way as well. It's going to look terrific. Now, Steve is in charge of that running kidnap. Noah has that truck loaded with explosives. He's going to take you behind the building, throw you into the truck. That thing is going to get very hot, so hang on tight, but more importantly, get out fast. Don't stay in there. All right, I like to hear that. Any questions? Fantastic. Let's get this in one. All right, Chelsea, call it.
All right, places please. Indy, Marion, ready? Awesome. Stunt team, ready? Perfect. Are you all ready? All right, cameras ready?
Cameras are ready. Right on the set. Roll cameras.
Cameras rolling. Speed.
Common 60, 124 Apple, the Cairo encounter, take one mark.
Playback. Background.
Action! And cut. Let's go to standby, please. Standby, please. All right, so thank you so much for your patience. Of course, this is a live film shoot. I do want you to know everyone is okay. And yeah, that is fantastic. Absolutely. Everyone's doing great. We're going to go for a take 2. So thank you again for your patience. All right, Chelsea, call places.
All right, let's lock it down, please. Indy, Marion, ready? Stunt team, ready? Are you all ready? All right, cameras ready?
Cameras are ready. Quiet on the set. Roll cameras.
Cameras rolling. Speed.
Common 60, 124 Apple, Cairo encounter, take 2 mark.
Playback. Background.
Action! Charles!
Come on, Mary.
All right.
Get up there.
Lindsay, what is that?
I don't know. Just keep going.
Okay. Up here. Here.
Marion, hang on. Need to stop quick. Grab that pole.
Okay. Now what?
Push. Pull.
Go!
Go. Going.
Hurry! Indy, come on! We're trapped!
I think I know the way out. You're not gonna like it.
We're good! No, we're not! Matt!
Look at that jump.
Jump! Are you crazy? Indy!
Marion.
This way!
Yes, you sure did. Excellent. Great work. Thank you so much. Great work, stunt team. Beautiful work.
You see, somebody could get hurt if you don't have the right timing. Nice! That was great. I love that. I am the only one excited. Okay, that's great. I'm gonna mix it up. Yeah, add some flavor. Face that way and just roll with it, okay? Yeah, eye contact. You see, it takes guts, coordination,
Haley.
and of course a real level head.
Haley, no. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Haley,
Yeah. Oh,
I meant a simple demonstration.
yeah, she's still there.
Yes, she is. Can you say something to them?
Oh. Obviously, this takes a lot of rehearsal.
Or a lot of stunt performers?
Yes, it does. Steve, come on over. Yeah, little fight.
No, he does not want anything to do with you. If you can please just help her up and
Okay.
apologize.
I am so sorry.
No, not to me, to her.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Lainey. Lainey. Lainey.
Folks, let's hear it for two of my best fight performers. We've got Haley and that is Lainey. Great work, you two. Thank you for the demonstration. Let's go ahead and move on to our final scene, the desert scene. Indy and Marion are trying to escape an enemy encampment somewhere in the North African desert. Steve, join me, please. Here, Indy finds himself face to face with a heavy-hitting mechanic, played by my stunt actor. This is Steve.
Hey, everybody. Off.
Thank you, Steve. Hey, take a moment, explain the difference between being a stunt actor, like yourself, and a stunt double like Haley. Chris, help him out, please.
You got it, boss. Well, folks, as a stunt actor, I play the role of the mechanic throughout the entire shoot. Now, what that means is no one doubles for me as I perform all of my own stunts. And it's very different from Chris. Chris is just a stunt double.
All right, well, it's just a
stunt double. It is my job to make you believe that I'm Harrison Ford.
Yes, and that I'm Karen Allen.
Some big stars like Harrison Ford or Karen Allen, they would prefer to do all of their own stunts. Sometimes the risk of injury on those stunts, just a little too great. Big star would get hurt, that could shut down our entire production. It was if Steve got hurt, we just find somebody else. Besides, if Harrison and I are doing our jobs correctly, we're going best friends have a hard time telling us apart.
All right, I want to talk over a change.
Yeah, just one little difference between you and Harrison Ford. What's that? It's $200 million.
Wow. All right, let's save that for the scene. All right, listen up. The soldier on the hill tries to fire on Indy. You panic, you hit the controls, you start going in circles. We've rehearsed this part. Here comes a change. I need to get to the action a little sooner. So on the first rotation, you fall into the machine gun, still accidentally firing rounds in the air. Everybody clear?
Got it.
Beautiful. There's a lot of firepower in this final scene. Hit your marks. Stay safe. Chelsea, call it.
All right, places, please, places.
Folks, this last scene is a culmination of all the effects you've seen so far. What you're about to watch would not be possible without the entire cast and crew working together to create what we call the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. Right, team? Just, let's do this.
All right, lock it down, please. Soldier on the hill, ready. Effects team, ready.
All set.
Indy, Marion, ready. Cameras ready.
Cameras are ready. Light on the set. Roll cameras.
Cameras rolling. Speed.
Falcon 6, stage 3, Charlie. Desert flight, take 1 mark.
Playback.
Action!
Damn it!
So as we're walking to our next filming location, we were passing Walt Disney Presents, and we were like, we have to stop here real quick because it shows one man's dream, has a lot of bits about the history of like the Disney company and the parks and all of that. So always a nice place to step into. One Man's Dream is a fantastic little film, and yeah, it's been a little while since we've gone in, so we're gonna detour in there real quick.
Highly recommend.
And I feel like it's kind of a nod to the past of Hollywood studios to a certain extent, because it's the kind of stuff that was all over the place before. Yeah. So let's go. Also, a special thing that's in here right now is the model of what Disneyland looked like on opening day. It was built in 2005 for the 50th anniversary of the park, and it is huge and so cool and a little crazy to know what it looks like now versus what it looked like in 1955. So, like we were saying, Disney could not add attractions here fast enough. They quickly made a deal with Jim Henson's company to bring the Muppets into the park, and Muppet Vision 3D debuted here in Disney MGM on May 16, 1991. Of course, next to follow was the biggest expansion to the park at that time, and that was Sunset Boulevard in 1994. And with Sunset came the park's first thrill ride, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. We left the Indiana Jones Stunt Show, and then we kept filming our stuff, and then we went, oh no, we never gave any thoughts about the Stunt Show. We love the Stunt Show, for the record.
It's a great show. Today was actually kind of interesting because they had unfortunately had a little injury, but everybody's okay. On the tumble scene.
Yes, and they were having technical difficulties, so we didn't have the
temple scene.
The temple scene in the beginning. So we never had that happen before, either of those things, actually. So strange day for the Stunt Show, but still super great. And
always great.
The best part will always be seeing kids' faces.
Oh my God!
As they watch it for the first time.
Every punch, you know.
I know. You just hear them go, and we had a little kid beside us, and his reactions were the best. So
yeah, it's one of those things that makes that show, you know, nice to go back to all the time.
Every time.
Just seeing people's reactions that haven't seen it.
Absolutely, and honestly, like this is one of the shows that made us fall in love with the whole movie making process as kids.
100%,
so
100%.
Lots of nostalgia wrapped in it for us as well.
Absolutely. Of course, the Tower of Terror would not be the last thrill ride to find its home on Sunset Boulevard. For the park's 10th anniversary, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith opened on July 29, 1999, with the promise of moving guests from 0 to 57 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds.
The park has continued to see attractions come and go. Shows like the Monster Sound Show and Superstar Television morphed into other experiences. Attractions like Lights, Motor, Action, Stunt Show, Spectacular were added. One of the biggest changes was the decision to move all animation projects back to California in 2004, which took away all the backstage glimpses into the animation process in the park. But the greatest change of all would come in 2008 with the name change of the park. Part of that, yes, had to do with the fact that MGM was not renewing their licensing agreement, but honestly, it also had something to do with the fundamental shift of focus in the park. Until that point, the park's focus had been about showing guests the nuts and bolts of filmmaking and storytelling. Now, the park would be focused on immersing guests into the stories they were telling.
Some of these big ideas might not have resulted in immediate changes to attractions, but they were coming. And those projects would be the biggest construction projects that the park had seen in years. First up was the announcement of Toy Story Land, which would take up most of one of the original attractions, the Studio Backlot Tour. This property had found success in Disney parks overseas, so a version of it was placed here in Hollywood Studios. This land immerses guests in Andy's backyard and opened on June 30th, 2018.
The next large addition to the park would completely change the landscape of Disney's Hollywood Studios and transport us all to a galaxy far, far away. Of course, Disney had acquired Lucasfilm in 2012, and while the company's properties had already found homes in smaller venues across the Disney parks, the Imagineers were already planning for something much grander. The 14-acre expansion would absorb most of the former streets of America and leave Muppet Vision 3D on a block-long Los Angeles-themed street named Grand Avenue.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge wouldn't simply be a look at a familiar planet that we all know, but rather a completely new world built into the lore where guests could forge their own adventure while running into familiar faces. We're definitely going to take the time to explore Batuu and everything that's in this amazing expansion later on down the road, but here's the quick version. Galaxy's Edge opened on August 29th, 2019, with the incredible Rise of the Resistance attraction opening a few months later in December. For those of you who haven't ridden Rise of the Resistance, it transports you on a Star Destroyer and an unforgettable adventure follows.
The last major change for the park came in 2017 with the announcement they were closing the Great Movie Ride. The last of the original attractions, it was the end of an era. Of course, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway would end up taking its spot in the Grauman Theater and debuted on March 4th of 2020.
As Hollywood Studios continues to evolve into a park that immerses guests into stories, I think it's fair to say we're going to see many more changes in the years to come.
So thank you for joining us on today's excursion. If you are a fan of Hollywood Studios, let us know, what is your favorite change that they've made? Is there an attraction that was near and dear to your heart, like the Great Movie Ride for us? I know, we're still in mourning. Comment and let us know.
That's right. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out. We continue to have videos coming out every Wednesday and Saturday. But until next time,
Keep savoring the magic.